Hello, everyone. I am Erica,
And I am.
and welcome to Book and Sip, where we read some books and take some sips. I'm so glad we started the year off right with this book, but we'll get to that. Let's talk about our sips.
Okay, so I was in the streets yesterday
Oh
and I
no.
should have stayed myself at home because I feel it coming.
Uh-oh.
So I'm drinking orange juice. I feel it coming.
See, I was not in the streets. I was around my nasty babies who just passed their cough along and it passed to me. So I am drinking, and don't judge me. It works.
Okay,
So I am drinking Jack honey and hot water in my mug here.
okay.
Now, side note, and this is not a sponsored thing, I just really enjoy this. We never really talked about what we got for Christmas, so I'm going to bring up one of the things I got for Christmas because I've been using it nonstop. Dre doesn't drink hot drinks because she's weird,
Um,
but I like hot drinks so much so that I like my drinks to constantly be hot. So I'm microwaving my drink all the time. The second it drops below a temperature, I have to microwave again. So I'm microwaving my drink like 5 or 6 times. And for Christmas, my husband bought me this mug that stays hot. Like it has a little heating pad at the bottom and it keeps your drink hot for a good hour to 2 hours. So I don't have to microwave it over and over again. And it's been the greatest purchase ever. I've used it every day. I've thrown away all my other mugs because what's the point of them? I have a mug that keeps it hot forever.
that's a really good gift. I am kind of impressed by his gift giving.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's a good gift. Very thoughtful.
So I was like, yes, I love it. Who needs any other mugs?
Yeah, I don't know why I'm weird. I just do not like First of all, I'm hot natured. Like
Okay.
this is the time for me, honey, because the window is right here. My feet are freezing and I'm loving every minute of it. I feel like this is what my life should feel like all the time. I'm just so hot. So, yeah.
And see, I get cold easily, but winter is still my favorite time of year because we live in Texas, in case you don't know, and you can't do nothing in this Texas heat.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing. Okay? You can do absolutely nothing in this heat.
True.
You will
True.
fry.
True.
And see, in the cold, you could throw on some layers, go out and do
Clear up.
something, but
Yeah.
you can only take off so many clothes before it's indecent, and then you're just sweating and naked and still hot.
Yeah, you know my rule. Y'all gotta look at it. It's just me.
So it's just no, no. I'm loving this weather. All I need now is some snow, about 6 inches of snow, and to
Snow.
stay home from work, and I'll be in seven heaven.
Yeah, ditto that.
Okay, now that we've segued, let's get back into this book. All right, maybe in another life. We're at the end of it. We read this book in 2 weeks, and it was totally worth it.
Totally worth it.
She called it. She called it, guys.
I
And
knew it.
I called her
I
at
just
7 in
knew
the
it.
morning to let her know that she called it.
Yeah. And good thing she did because we were oversleeping for school because I was like, what time is it? Oh, we gotta get up.
Yes, it was
Um,
literally the very next chapter, chapter
it
26.
made no sense. And then I tell you, I still repeat it, I have never identified more with a character in all my life. I am Hannah and Hannah is me. And so for her to say, yeah, I just thought like dentists have like short, that's what I'm saying. He's a dentist. He should have had his butt at home. I don't know a single dentist that works at night. Never, ever.
Emergency
I don't
dentist.
know.
I tried to give
So,
him the benefit. I was like, maybe he's an emergency dentist. I don't know.
I, but then you would be at home and someone calls you, it's an emergency. And then you run to it did not feel right in my spirit. I knew something was wrong with Mark.
And no offense to any blondes out there, but it's always a blonde. It's always a blonde.
I will say that the writing of that scene, I don't know that it like perfection because I felt like it was coming. They're gonna go to his job and
Yes.
it I felt like they were gonna walk in on him in the office, like doing the whole thing with his secretary. And it wasn't. It was like the elevator went down And then we're supposed to be going up, and then go up, go back on the door, like, oh, you know how you push the buttons
Yes.
and you like, oh, hop on, not looking up or down, and so it stopped back on your floor, and there he is kissing somebody. And you're like,
And it wasn't even his fault because when I read this, we're talking the butterfly effect here. Like one thing changes everything. So many things could have happened for them to avoid her catching him. Because they
yes,
would have just went to the fifth floor,
yep,
then they would have been caught. They
nope,
went down and they stopped on the third floor, and he was on the third floor.
yes, yeah. So that on that on in that universe, and then in the other universe, he did what, because foreshadowing, right? So
Yes.
in this universe, you're like, well, he should have just told her. He should have just came out and said blah blah blah. Okay, fine. They gave it to you that way. Here you go. I'm just gonna tell her. Okay, so I
So
dropped
which
you
was
at your
better?
shop. I built you a ramp. I took the table so you guys could do what you gotta do, but I'm out of here. And then you're like,
Wait,
what
what?
kind of fucking dog is this? So I gave it to, either way, it's gonna hurt. Either way.
So which one do you prefer? The
I like
fighting, the
I like a
catching?
straight up, I like a straight up pull the band-aid off kind of person. Um,
I'm
just
leaving
yeah,
you the house. I'm leaving you everything. Just
yeah,
hope for the best.
yeah. And the difference between the two for me is that the respect that came on the back end of it, right? Because he was like, I tried. I have to be true to myself. I have to, and how can you hate? Like, it may hurt you, but you can't hate somebody for just
Right?
acknowledging not the right thing for them.
Even the fact that he was like, she was like, he left me. He paid for most of the house, and
Yep.
he did
He wasn't
everything
trying to
right.
get
Like
over on me. He wasn't trying to take anything from me. It wasn't bitter. It just is what it is, and this is not for me. It's hard to argue with that.
it really is. It really is. And honestly, that's tough because a part of me is like, yes, I do appreciate that, but a part of me is like, I'd rather catch you cheating because I'm like, I need to blame somebody. I need to blame someone.
I mean, he could still be the bad guy. You just can't argue with the logic. Like, he could still be the bad guy. You hurt me. You knew before we got married this was not everything you were looking for. I mean, all those things can still be true, and you can still be upstanding with the fact that this just ain't.
And see, my thing is like, he beat me to the punch because I knew. She said she knew. Everything was just fine.
Yeah.
Though it was nothing more than just fine.
Yeah. Okay, so many things about this book.
Yes,
Like,
yes,
you sit here and you're like, okay, am I okay with fine? Would I still,
yes.
if I had been Gabby, am I okay with fine? Is fine okay? And then of course, it's always the man with the small peepees. So then you
It's so
get the
small. It's
and
a
then you're like,
golf
but then why
pencil.
would you marry for the rest of your life for a small peepee? I
Because
mean,
the
I guess he
small
was
peepee
good
is
to
not
you.
supposed
He
to
provided,
matter.
he did all these other things, so maybe that's
Yeah.
enough, even with the small peepee.
And see, with that, I think, and I'm not gonna say it's an awful way of looking at things, but have you ever heard of, you normally see this in like Tyler Perry stuff, but I do somewhat agree with it, the 80/20 rule?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I do believe in that. No one's gonna give you 100%. No one's gonna be 100% of what you want.
So you think Henry was right when he told Hannah, you just got to choose. Like, you just got to choose.
Yes,
Okay.
nothing's gonna be 100% of what you want. There's always gonna be that 20% of, you know, this is just not what it is.
Yep.
And you have to decide if you're okay with that 20%. Maybe you can find someone with another 80%, but then there's another 20% that's just not there. So maybe her 20% was the golf pencil and she was just okay with it.
Yeah.
Ethan not returning. That threw me off in the car, the Universe One, the car accident. They had that one meeting. She's like, yeah, we can be good friends. And he didn't show up for the rest of that book.
He came back
At the very end,
at the very end.
yeah, he came back at the very end, married or with someone else. And I'm like, okay, so it's just wham bam, thank you, ma'am. And that was the end of Ethan. I don't know what I expected, but that was not what I expected.
You wanted him to put up a fight.
I don't know if I wanted him to put up a fight. but I thought they would have some type. It felt like there was really no real closure with them. Like he left upset, visibly
She,
upset, and then that was just it.
yeah, she chose to like listen, she chose friendship. He could be upset. I want something more. Um, but she chose a friendship. I don't think there's anything after that. I had no qualms about that.
It's because I was waiting for him to come back and visit or come back in something, and I'm like, oh, okay, he just never came back. Hannah going nuts. I greatly enjoyed this part. Where she's like, you know what? I'm gonna tell him I love him. Or I'm gonna ask him out on a date, or I'm gonna do something. And she's rolling around the hospital. And
Okay, and then the lady's name is Hannah also. So,
yes. And then she
okay.
gets to his floor, and this lady's looking at her like she's crazy. And then the fact that she goes back in the elevator, and I thought that was it. And then she's like, I waited until she left, and then I ran back out. I'm like, what? What's the matter with you?
In a wheelchair, ma'am, you're not getting very far.
You can barely get far now, and you're hurt.
This this part of the book had me cackling really,
Oh
really
my
bad
gosh. This
because
was probably my favorite part. This was
it
it.
was okay because okay, I know we're just meeting people, but I am such a nut about love. Like I think
Oh
that
no.
love is the best thing you could ever have in this entire universe. And this book, I'm about to start crying right now. This
Please.
book has had me in my feels since I finished this book. And the idea that I had someone tell me once that I believe in moving for love, but I don't believe staying for it.
Mm.
And I thought at the time, I'm like, that's the craziest crap I've ever heard. Like, if you're gonna pick up your entire life and give up everything that you've got for the idea that this could be it, whatever that spark is that you're looking for, but you wouldn't stay for that spark. I have now lived a, well on 20 plus years since that person said that. And I realize now that there are some things love can't fix. But I feel like you have to give it the try. Like you have to, I feel like you have to go nuts for it. If you find an opportunity for it, you have to give it all that it's got. And she
Mm.
gave everything she had to find that person,
She did. She did. And then
including the opportunity for them to call police on her.
and she was like, I'm a stalker. I'm like, I get it. She did it to save his job, but she's
Save
just
his
like,
job.
I'm a
Yeah.
stalker. And it's not his fault. I'm a stalker. Your hand's just okay. You're a stalker. But yes, this part tickled me.
It was hilarious. It could not have been any well written. She don't want
No, no, it was definitely it was good. It was good. Ethan's confession. And when I say confession, I mean when he came back, this is the other universe where she's pregnant. He tells her that he can't do it. She understood, and then he came back to her door later. And for some reason, I'm not gonna say the confession bothered me, but I wonder how many people think like that. He admitted, I broke up with you. I broke up with you because I knew then and there that you were the one. I wanted to marry you. But I was about to go off to college and I wanted to sow my royal oats, as they say, and come into America. And I
to.
figured when I came back, you would just be there waiting for me.
Mhm.
And I was like, you arrogant son of a gun.
I think a lot of people feel like that.
Like I could just go and they'll be there. They'll always be there. I'll
Yep.
always have a place in their heart. And when I'm ready for them, they'll be there.
Yep.
So when he confessed that, I did think back to the other universe. I'm like, so does he know that he messed up? Is he aware that he messed up when he let her go that first time? Because now she's with Henry in that other universe. So that was my thought behind Ethan's confession.
Uncover the secret.
I don't really
I don't know how that happened. I cut my camera off because I was looking for my box of Kleenex I thought was behind the TV and I didn't want y'all to see my legs. But it's not back there and then all of a sudden my TV started talking, so I don't know. Okay, sorry.
You're good. So have as
I'm telling y'all
someone
this book has had me in the feels, child.
as someone who had a high school sweetheart, if he came back and confessed this to you, would you take him back?
In a minute.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my.
Okay. I I feel like I was telling this to somebody New Year's Day, and I said I look back and I think of all the choices that I made and the things that I wish I had known when I was younger. And I think that I know how Ethan feels because I think both of us just kind of thought this is where it is. And we'll go and we'll try some other stuff and we'll come back and then some things happen and you can't fix it. You can if you choose to, and then sometimes you just choose not to go back. And so, yeah.
See, I didn't have a high school. That's why I did have a high school sweetheart. But I am married now, but I do have that thought of if we did connect again, would I go back? I probably would. I probably would. I would because and they talk about this and this really had me think where Hannah said sometimes you just feel something for people. There's something that you feel. And I'm like, have I ever had that something that I feel where I'm like, yeah, this is something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. And I did feel that for one person in my life. Um Unfortunately, in that situation, there were religious differences, even though I did feel something for that particular person. And I will say it really sucked. It really, really sucked. It made me want to change my whole religion, but that just wasn't neither one of us would bend on that one. Uh for reference, he was a Mormon.
That's a
Yeah, I know. He
that's
was
a
a
lot.
Mormon. I'm a Christian. It was
In both
Romeo and
religions,
Juliet
there are
again.
some in both religions there are some weird things that people believe in, but for a black woman to say she considered becoming a Mormon, that's they have some views.
They do. They do. They do. And we actually did a little, I won't even call it experiment, where he came to my church and I came to his church, and we just knew it wasn't going to work out.
Yeah.
And it really sucked. It really sucked. We stayed up till like 1 a.m. in the morning at the park just talking.
Yeah,
So,
I think one of like there's so many tidbits in this book. One of the portions Hannah was saying, I think I have to believe that life will work out the way it needs to. If everything that happens in the world is just a result of chance and there's no rhyme or reason to any of it, that's just too chaotic for me to handle. I'd
mhm.
have to go around questioning every decision I've ever made, every decision I will ever make. If our fate is determined with every step we take, it's too exhausting. I prefer to believe that things happen as they are meant to happen. And then I think it's in the other universe where she says something like, you can't point to one thing. It's a because all these decisions, you don't know which one thing triggered. Could it have been because I went home with my girlfriend, or could it have been
Yeah.
3 years ago that I met that married man and did whatever I did with him? Which one of those decisions triggered? You can't sit there and become totally consumed.
And if you do, it can go back a lot because we can say with the whole catching Mark thing, okay, that happened because the Ole was at the bottom of the floor. But then you go to, okay, no, this happened because Hannah was pregnant and they need to go talk to Mark. Okay, well, now we can go back to this happened because Hannah slept with this married man and then she
Yep.
became pregnant. Like it can go back some
Which,
years if you do this.
okay. Hold on, because I meant to tell you, like I texted you after we
You
recorded that, and I
did.
was like, first of all, we didn't even put the emphasis on the fact that this broad had a relationship with a married man to begin with. Can we? That's the
That
one thing.
she
That's the
claimed
one thing
she
Hannah
did
and I
not
do
know
not
was
have in
Mary.
contact in common. We do not have that in common. No, no.
And her excuse was she didn't know he was married. And she
And then
said at first she
out,
didn't, but then she did know, but she kept it going. She chose to ignore it. She chose to ignore the signs.
and then this fool called this man and said, "I think you have a right to know." And he was like, "I don't want to know nothing."
Oh my
The,
gosh,
the
yes, the call.
ugliness, the ugliness, the
And he was like, as
listen.
far as I'm concerned, I'm just a sperm donor. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's what's up.
Yep. Heard you loud and clear.
Loud and clear. I think the most beautiful part of this book was at the end of the book. Um, Gabby's heart was broken. Um, Hannah, on both sides of the equation, had found a love that worked. We see a vision where she has the Henry. They meet in a very cute way. He's stalking her now at her coffee
Yes.
shop. Or on the other end, she takes Ethan back after he shows up with the grand gesture. They're expecting a baby for themselves.
Yes.
Um, and then Gabby has gone back to her high school sweetheart. They're trying to
Yes.
work things, they're trying to make things work. They're engaged to be married. And then the future husband gives a beautiful speech about the cosmos in a book he read. A book discussion in a book. I love it.
Yes.
So the he's up in front of all these people giving this great toast to his wife. It's her birthday. They do a surprise party. And he says, I was reading a book about the cosmos recently. Hold on, trust me, this relates. And I was reading about different theories about the universe. I was really taken with this one theory that states everything that is possible happens. That
True.
means that when you flip a quarter, it doesn't come down heads or tails, it comes up heads and tails. Every time you flip a coin, it comes up heads. You are merely in the universe where the coin came up heads. There's another version of you out there created. The second the quarter flipped, you saw it come up tails. This is happening every second of every day. The world is splitting further and further into infinite number of parallel universes where everything that could happen is happening. This is completely plausible, by the way. It's a legitimate interpretation of quantum mechanics. It's entirely possible that every time we make a decision, there's a version of us out there somewhere who made a different choice. An infinite number of versions of ourselves are living out the consequences of every single possibility in our lives. What I'm getting at here is that I know there may be universes out there where I made different choices that led me somewhere else, led me to someone else. He looks at Gabby and he says, and my heart breaks for every single version of me that didn't end up with you.
And he burst into tears.
And I'm just like, I'm about to because that is probably the most beautiful, I mean, toast one you could ever give somebody. But the idea that just one choice could change the trajectory of who and what and where you are is just depressing and awe-inspiring all at the same time.
Now, before we continue, guys, make sure you love, share, and subscribe. And let's continue. So, do you believe in the whole quantum theory, the multiverse?
I'd like to, right? I don't know. It sounds good.
It does.
I think I think it's hard to not to. I'm sure there's some scientific explanation behind the ideal of deja vu, where you're like, wait, I lived this before. You're saying something, you're like, did I and I think that that comes from this. Maybe that bled into whatever that belief is. So I
Yes.
think I definitely would like to, and then I'd like to think that the people who led horrible and terrible lives, there's another universe out there where they had a nice life and
Yes.
weren't mistreated or killed in some horrible way. What
And
about
I
you?
agree. I agree because deja vu is weird. It's happened to me a lot. It's happened to me a lot, and I still remember the first time it happened to me because this one was so vivid. And it was my mom. She told me, "Hey, Erica, you need to take this check and give it to Lana's ballet teacher." I was like, "Cool." And I remember getting on the school bus, looking at the track, and I'm like, "I left that check on my dresser." And then I woke up, and I'm like, "Well, now I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna make sure I grab that check." And sure enough, I'm on the bus looking at the track, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I still left it."
Wow.
So I do somewhat believe in the multiverse, especially after they said they've discovered other Earths. I think there's something there. So, do you believe in the one? Like, there is only one person out there for you?
Okay, go back to my younger years. About 10
Okay.
years ago. 10 years ago, I met this wonderful young lady by the name of Tiffany. And we vibed so hard, so quick. It was great. And then during our friendship, she said, I never really believed in soulmates, but I think they exist, just not in the way that we've been conditioned to think that they do. And this book is one of those examples. The older I get, the more I realize how important your girlfriends are. And the constant thing for Hannah was Gabby in
That's
each one of these universes. Unconditional, always there, always a support system, always had her back. Even when she was wrong, she told her you're wrong, but I got you. And so I believe that there is a one. I just don't think that it is in the manner that we are conditioned to think of the one. And I think for Hannah, Gabby was her one.
okay. Yes, I can definitely believe that. Because I was like, I don't believe in a one in the context of that we have it now, where there is one guy that is the perfect one for you. Um, Now I do believe in that there is just that one friend that just is for you. But as far as relation goes, I believe anyone can be your one if they're willing to put in the work. Like I know a lot of people say, the heart wants what it wants and it can't be helped and you you just can't help who you love and yes, I loved you, but now I love this person because you just can't help it. And I'm like, I believe that's a load of crap. And I know that sounds terrible, especially when you think about Mark. But I do believe that that's a load of crap. And and here is my reasoning for believing that that's a load of crap. Because you say you can't help who you love because you pheromones in the air or whatever. And when people say that to me, I'm like, so if your partner left you for someone else, would you be upset with them? And most of the time, people are like, yes. And I'm like, but if it's something that's like breathing, then why get upset? And I feel like it's because people know deep down that you could have done something.
I don't know. I think my argument to that statement is that I think that a lot of us are looking for something and settling for it and not really finding that hard connection because I think a lot of times the 80/20 rule can backfire because you may take the 80/20 and then what if you find the 10/9? I mean the 10/90 or you find the 100 and 0. Do you let that 100 pass because well, I
And
had
see,
the 80/20.
I don't know if that 100 exists.
It
I
might. I've seen I mean I think it
I do
all
not.
things require work, right? I'm not saying that, but
Yeah,
I've got people. I've got one couple that I love. I see them together and it's like magic, and you're like, how did this happen? And I don't. I mean, obviously choices, right? They
right.
chose each other. They continue to choose each other, and they've worked through whatever they've worked through. And to me, my vision, it looks like it's 100 for them. And I'm sure if you ask them, she'd probably be like, "Girl, you don't know the work I had to put in with this man." And he'd be like, "Oh my God, she's terrible when I have to get her in line."
And
So
see,
I'm sure it's all of that, but I
now I
don't
will
know.
say I do believe an 80-20 can become a 100. And I remember having my husband read one of my favorite books, Elevator Pitch. I said he's like the ideal book boyfriend, and I had him read it to see if he could understand why I like this character so much, why girls fall for these men in these books. And the first thing he came up with was it's because he's rich. And I'm like, no, no, that's very, believe it or not, that's very, very little. And for all the guys who watch this, I'm going to tell you the answer right now. It's these characters in these books look at every single little detail that is happening with the main female character all the time. And that's what I like just the most random things. Like one of the most significant things in this other book, I know we're talking about one book, but I'm going to go into this other book real quick, was they're just having a normal conversation. She brings up in her hometown, she liked these donuts. They were maple bacon donuts. I know that just sounds like some big back stuff. And he found a donut shop that sold maple bacon donuts. This wasn't something she was like, man, I would love to find this. Just a conversation. Yes, my favorite thing in Missouri was these maple bacon donuts. And he brought them to her, and she's just like, where did you even get these? And he's like, a donut shop, not that far from here. And I remember you said you liked them. So it's just that type of little listening that pops up. That's what makes the book boyfriend so great, is
Yeah,
that we can have an innocent conversation, but you are listening to everything and picking up on little things because we tell you exactly what we want in these little conversations.
yeah,
But if you're not listening, then it'll just go over your head.
yeah.
It's
Like
that
this
active
book,
listening.
Henry brought the pudding several
Yes.
times. Everyone in the world knew that she loved the cinnamon rolls.
Yes.
Ethan brought the cinnamon rolls. Gabby's parents made her cinnamon rolls. Henry got her cinnamon roll. And it's that. It's always gonna be that.
Yes. It's always just them little things. It's those little
For
things.
any stalker I may have out there, Taco Bell, you can't go wrong with.
Mine is anything sweet. Anything. Anything
All right.
sweet. I love all sweets. Okay? Take me to a dessert cafe.
I have to publicly disown Erica. She was hiding the sweet hut from me. I have now been craving those gum croissants, and I it's just too far for me to drive. But since she's coming to meet me today, if she cared about our friendship, she would stop and get that coffee cream filled croissant. I'm just saying, you know, she wanted to
The
be the
roll?
perfect the croissant that split open and had the coffee cream on top.
Oh,
Yeah.
that,
If she wanted to, boost up our affection for each.
I have to keep that in mind. And then I had to think for a second. I'm like, we're meeting today? I completely forgot about them kids.
Yeah, yeah, you got to pick up your cheering.
I feel like they just should just stay down there. Anyways, so did it end how you thought it would?
Generally speaking, yes. I don't know why I wasn't thinking two endings. I don't know why I thought they both would collide and it would all end up the same. But two endings, yeah, sure. Like I wanted her to end up with Henry and I wanted her to end up with Ethan. And so it just gave a lot of food for thought
It did,
because
and I loved it. I
she
love
could
that
be
the endings
happy
were the
in
same.
both. She could be happy in both universes with or without her high school sweetheart, with
And I
or
will
without
say,
the new love.
I love Henry. I do.
I do.
I like Henry more than Ethan.
I thought it was interesting that they meet in both universes
Yeah.
and you can feel a connection there
Yes.
as they were just talking about healthcare and her going to go to school to get her nursing degree. And at this party, they just meet and you could just feel like he's like, oh, but you're already taken.
And see, have you met someone where you felt a connection? Where like you were with someone, it's like, maybe in another life I would go for this.
Yeah.
Because I've had that happen before, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe in another life, this could have been a thing. And it was a guy who walked up to me. No, I walked up to him because I saw him stocking stuff, and I was like, hey, I'm looking for the syrup. I was in CVS. I didn't feel like going to the grocery store. I figured CVS would have syrup. And he was like, no, no, I think the syrup is somewhere else. I was like, okay, so he's like walking around the store with me trying to find the syrup, and I'm like, it's okay if y'all don't have any. I'm like, we've walked around this whole store. And he goes, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. He goes, I don't really work here. I deliver stuff here, but I just thought you were really pretty and I wanted to get to know you. I'm like, had me cracking up. I'm like, you know what? In another life, this totally would have worked because that was super sweet. We done walked around the whole store talking, and he's like, I don't work here.
That's funny.
But I saw him stocking stuff. I thought he did. But no, I did like that how it did. They were essentially the exact same ending. They were both at that party, but it was just two different ways that it turned out.
Yep.
So no, it did not end how I thought it would. I I did not think she would end up with Ethan in either of the universes. I give this book a 4.5.
Me too.
We both got 4.5. This is our first book, and it's a 4.5. I love it.
I don't
Okay, guys.
I have my okay, so first I ended it with I'm not giving this book a five. I don't know what I could or would improve on it.
I can
Um,
never give someone a perfect score. I don't know
but
why.
I'm gonna give it at first I started with a four, and as the week continued and this book just sat on me and the tears fell and all of that, and I'm like, this is a really good book. It is a really,
I
really
think they're really good book.
good book. Four and a half.
Four and a
It
half.
probably should be a five star. It
Okay,
is a
guys.
really good book.
And honestly, it probably should be a 5 star, but I can never give anything a perfect score. So honestly, four
I
and a
can
half
give
is
fives.
perfect.
I have no problem with fives,
I don't.
but I don't know. Four and a half.
All right, guys, we finished our first book. We're on to our second book. There's always next year. So we're gonna get through half of
Different than
it.
this one.
We're gonna get through half of it. This was Drea's pick. The first one was my pick. This one was Dre's pick. Guys, thank you for watching. I know we went on several tangents, but that's just the way this thing goes, okay? When we get to talking. And once again, if you like it this way, let us know in the comments. I'm thinking I like it this way,
I
where
like
we
it this
just
way.
gab about the book. So, guys, thank you for watching. We love you, and we will see you next week for our next book. There's always next year. All right, bye.